Here's something that you might not see often, and that would be a tiled stairway over a wood-framed set of stairs. Now, I would imagine that the stairway would have been waterproofed, or at least someone would have put some type of waterproofing on the stairs before they actually tiled it. Hopefully they did. There are no guarantees. I'm just taking pictures of this after the fact. I did not build this. Now, the biggest problem with a tile over the wood is eventually, if there are any spots where the tile is touching the wood, or the thin set, a cement-based adhesive that is used to attach the tile to the wood, if there is any section of that touching the cement and moisture in the air, you could have a problem with dry rot eventually. The wood will actually act like a sponge and suck the moisture out of the tile. So as long as you have moisture in the air, you're going to have moisture in the tile. And if you live in an area where it rains often, you're going to have even more water sucking into the wood. So tile over wood isn't really a good thing. It's not something I recommend. Now, I made another video where it showed the tile, the same building here, and it was installed over metal. Now, remember, some metal, galvanized metal, has an oil-based film over it, a coating to protect it from rusting while they're transporting it. If this is the case and the oil wasn't cleaned off, now your thin set or your adhesive is actually sticking over a thin layer of oil and actually isn't even touching the metal. So I would imagine something like this, if it wasn't installed correctly, and by that I mean, I could just see a whole bunch of problems here. If it was installed over metal, let's say, and the metal isn't connected to the wood, doesn't have a nice solid connection, or the tile isn't going to stick to the wood, to the adhesive. Let me say that again. If the tile isn't going to stick to the metal, and then you're going to have problems with the metal either rusting or the metal wasn't attached to the wood properly, you're going to have problems. Anytime you have additional barriers between things, you could create more problems. This would be the same effect as tiling over a linoleum floor that eventually separates from the original concrete, or the tile ends up separating from the linoleum. So it's never a good idea to have too many barriers in between things. So again, tile over concrete, yeah, that would work, but tile over wood is a definite no-no. If it's waterproofed and it's protected, yeah, you could probably get away with it. But in a situation like this, we can clearly see that the tile at one point, even if it's just a small 1/4 of an inch around the perimeter edge of the tile there, is actually touching the wood, and that isn't good.